getting a lot of water, but if you want to leave this.
Oh, funeral home brought it.
Yeah.
Let's put it there. Thank you.
Yeah.
This is my boyfriend Gavin. We live in Cincinnati. I'm Reva. So we live in Cincinnati. So Gavin works for Procter & Gamble, which is headquarters.
I think she's Laura's daughter.
And I'm working for
One of them, maybe two daughters.
so I work remotely. We're good. Very nice. Oh yeah.
You're Nasha?
I am.
Hi, I'm your mom's cousin.
Oh,
I'm Karen. I'm Reva's daughter.
Oh, hi. It's nice to meet you.
And this is my brother Barry.
Oh, hi. Nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm Karen.
Gavin, nice to meet you.
This is my
Hi,
boyfriend
Gavin.
Gavin.
Nice
Yeah,
meeting
nice
you,
to meet
Gavin.
you.
Thank you guys for coming out. I really appreciate it.
Shetty,
I know it would have meant a lot to her to
Yeah,
have a meeting out here. So
for sure.
You can take your jacket off too, honey.
I don't know how
Yeah.
they're standing in the sun like
I know.
that. It's really hot.
I don't know. It's hot and humid.
You know what's good? You guys want a water?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so it'll be quick. Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Where do you live?
We live in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're about like 5 hours from here. Gavin. So I flew back to Maryland Friday when we got word that she wasn't doing well. And then she passed really early on Saturday morning. And so then we flew back here Monday. So it's been
Wow.
a hectic week, yeah.
What do you do?
I work for a publishing company. Yeah, I work remotely.
Do you work for specific magazines or something? Or?
No, so we do coffee table books. Yeah, so we republish classic novels as like high-end coffee table art.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a fun job. Yeah, so I was like an English major. Love
Like your
books.
sister, huh?
Yeah, we both definitely followed in the same.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Where is she working?
So she's still in school. She goes to the University of Pittsburgh. She's got 1 year left. But,
She said she's studying drama and English lit.
yeah. And I was English lit and Jewish studies.
Oh, funny.
So, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Where did you go to school?
University of Wisconsin.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, that's where
Oh.
Gavin and I met.
Oh, my daughter went there.
Oh, no
Our
way.
daughter.
When did she graduate?
She's older than you.
Okay, yeah, so
She's 31.
Okay.
Nikki's, yeah. Yeah.
Crazy.
I know.
Very crazy.
What year did you graduate?
2020.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so
Wow.
the year without the graduation. Gavin was born in Rockford.
Oh,
Rockford moved up to Janesville.
really?
Went to school there.
So we're almost in your old stomping grounds.
Yep. Yep.
So you're more local than I am.
Oh yeah.
Right. But your roots are local.
Yeah. I think I've been converted back to being a Midwesterner now after living here for like 6 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Oh, okay.
So those days where you can't put you with us, Laura. We're gonna
Maybe for mom.
But just to hold it to keep you cool.
Yeah, it is. It feels
I know, it
really
feels
good.
really
Ladies and gentlemen, if I could have your attention, please. There are a number of chairs available. Please utilize them today. We have waters here to my right. If you need a water, please raise your hand. We'll get one to you. Before we begin today's services, I'd like to kindly remind you to silence your cell phones at this time.
be in the shade.
And we're also live streaming the services today, so if you wouldn't mind not stepping in front of the cameras, please. Thank you.
Oh.
Right next to mine, okay.
And if anyone needs an umbrella today for shade, please let me know. We'll get one to you. Officiating today's services is Rabbi Yehuda Myers.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us this morning. Your presence is a tribute to the honor and memory of the late Estelle Kriv. We'll begin today's service with a chapter from Tehillim Psalms. Those who are able to rise, please do so. It can be found on in the pamphlet on the first page. Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He guides me in straight paths for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest the table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil, my cup runs over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Please be seated. We are here to mourn the passing of a precious soul, Esther Bas Avram, Estelle Kriv, daughter of the late Arthur Nettie Pomper, beloved wife of Harold Kriv for 50 years, sister and sister-in-law of Howard and Barbara Pomper, Lily Pomper, and the late Leonard and David Pomper. Loving mother and mother-in-law of Arlene, Laura, Jeffrey, and Carolyn Kennedy Kriv. Adored grandmother to Nesha, Lena, and Eli. Cherished aunt to nieces and nephews, and dear friend to many. Estelle will be dearly missed by her family and friends. Estelle was born on the south side of Chicago on February 28, 1939, to Arthur and Nettie Pomper. She graduated from South Shore High School and attended University of Illinois for 2 years. At a sorority dance, she met her future husband, Harold Kriv. They married a short while later in 1960 and moved to the quaint suburb of Highland Park to raise their family. Estelle and Harold retired to Scottsdale, Arizona in 1994. They returned back to Chicago and settled in Skokie in 2000 before Harold's passing in 2010. In the last few months, Estelle moved to Maryland to live near her daughter Laura before her passing this past week. While Estelle maintained a very active life, including working in sales at Neiman Marcus, volunteering with local Jewish organizations, and the Chicago Light Opera Works.
So, my mother was always a lover of the arts, which I'm grateful she passed on to me. While growing up, our home was always filled with music. She always had the latest records from Barbra Streisand, Johnny Mathis, and Tom Jones, who were popular during that time, among others. She had a fondness for opera, particularly for the great tenors like Mario Lanza and later Placido Domingo, who would religiously see perform whenever he was in town. And after the concert, she would have a picture of them taken together and would display them around her house. She was also a gifted pianist who always played by ear. She didn't read music. And when I was young, she insisted I take piano lessons and supported my desire to study voice. She introduced me to the great musicals, Carousel, Gypsy, Singing in the Rain, My Fair Lady, and performers like Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. She would attend classical music concerts regularly by the Highland Park Strings and by visiting ensembles in Skokie. She also had a gift for drawing, which was expressed by the doodles of women's faces she would make from time to time. She was very proud of my son Eli, who's an accomplished cellist. And the last few years were very hard for her. We will miss her terribly, but are grateful to know that she is now at peace. I just wanted to take in all your faces for a second. Most of you have known my mom for a long time, and I wanted to capture just a few of the things that helped to describe the person that she was, her sense of humor, what she enjoyed, and some of the lessons that she taught me. My mom had a flair for the dramatic. When I did something that scared or worried her, she would often say, "My heart is in my mouth." When I did something that she disapproved of, she would say, "Should I stick my head in the oven now or later?" On my birthday, she would say to me, "Just think, 58 years ago today, I was saying, oy vey, I can't stand it anymore. Give me something quick." And they gave me you. My mom loved to dress her best. When my kids were little, they used to watch their bubby put on her makeup in the morning. Her scarf and her beret always matched her coat. Her earrings and necklace and bracelets always matched her outfits. She loved to take long, luxurious baths. Her favorite TV show was MASH. She loved watching old westerns. She loved Carol Burnett. My mom's maiden name was Pomper, and I thought it was fitting that my cousin recently said to me that all Pompers belong in Chicago. My mom was proud to be from the South Side of Chicago. Being from the South Side was like being a member of a special club that bonded people together for life. My mom was generous and known for giving things away. When someone came into her home, they never left empty-handed. She would give away articles of clothes, tchotchkes, kitchenware, a picture frame, a box of kishki. Here, take this footstool. You never know when you're going to need a good footstool. One of the lessons I learned from my mom was that she taught me to be an advocate for myself. She taught me to use my voice for those things I believe in. She used to say, use your mouth. Have a mouth. I have a mouth. These are just some of the things that I want to remember my mom by. Thank you.
Thank you all for coming. I was just here a couple weeks ago for Father's Day to visit my father. And now both my parents are gone. It's tough. The last couple of years were tough on her. I'm trying to stay positive, and I appreciate everybody that came. I used to visit her all the time while she was still out here. I used to work a lot of hours with work. I used to go to court in the morning. When I come over to her place, I'd go to bed. So I didn't really spend much time talking with her. I wish I stayed awake a little bit more. She'd always complain, I'm always sleeping. And she'd always ask, Jeff, is that all you do is write tickets all day? Apparently she doesn't know there's crime in Chicago. Like, oh no, Mom, I don't just write tickets to everybody. I actually do work. But it's a lot of memories. She was in the hospital last year, and my sisters were in town almost a year ago, and we thought this was it. We didn't know if she was going to make it. But she was pretty coherent at one point, and I sat with her in the hospital, just her and I said, Mom, you're not going to believe this, but I asked Lori to marry me, and she said yes. And she opened her eyes, like, my son, she's getting married. I'm like, Mom, you got to promise me you're going to make it to the wedding. You can see the wedding. She's like, I promise, I will be there for the wedding. And she did. She didn't come to the wedding, but she did watch it online. So she kept her promise. That meant a lot to me. So I thank everybody for coming, showing up. I miss you, Mom.
You want to just read a couple things from friends, if that's okay? There are several friends from out of town who grew up with my mother, or in one particular who met her over the last 5 years, who sent in short statements they couldn't be here. So I just wanted to read them really quickly. Dear Estelle, although we became friends for only a short time before I left Chicago, we became heart friends. That's the very closest friends you can have. We spoke to each other almost every day. We laughed and we cried together. It was like a lifetime of friendship. You were very dear to me, always so kind. We loved using our broken Yiddish expressions. I never heard an unkind word from you. I love you, dear Estelle. I miss you. It's from Bobby. Dear Estelle, we met 70 years ago in South Shore High School. We were in the same sorority in B'nai B'rith. We met our husbands at the same time. You got married May 1st, and I got married May 15th, 1960. And we got pregnant at the same time. You had Arlene in November, and I had Bonnie in January. Then came Mark, and you had Laura. And you told me that you and Harold wanted to try for a boy, so here comes Jeffrey, and now your family was complete. You lived north, and I lived south, but we still kept in touch, and sometimes we would meet in the middle. No matter where we lived, in Chicago, Arizona, California, and Las Vegas, we managed to be a guest in each other's homes. Your home was open to us, and you loved to cook your chicken. Eating out was not your favorite thing because you knew what was in your food and that it came from your kitchen. I was so proud of you when you became a bat mitzvah once your children were on their own. It was something I never did. You were always a classy, well-dressed lady. Your hats, scarves, gloves, and clothes always matched. You loved skirts. Did you even own any pants? You got to travel with Harold to many places and brought back beautiful art, and as the years went on, your girls got married and gave you 3 grandchildren, Neshalina and Eli. You were so proud of them and always told me what they were doing. And I do believe one of the happiest days in your recent life was when Jeff got married to Lori. You were so happy that he got married to a wonderful woman. My dear, longtime old friend, you are now in heaven with your wonderful Harold and parents. I will miss you so much. These past few years have been so hard on you. And now you are free of pain and suffering. And there's a new shining star in heaven. Love you forever, Myra. This is from her friend Rhonda Fingerette. Oh, Estelle, when I received the news that you had passed away, I was in shock. My dearest friend of 70 plus years is gone. I can no longer hear your voice, your laugh, or pick up the phone to talk endlessly for hours about nothing or everything. A friendship like ours is truly rare, like a precious gem. It was one that stood the test of time through it all. I was your maid of honor at your wedding, and in turn you were my matron of honor at mine, and then again the second time around when Jerry and I renewed our vows 50 years later. While I can't be there physically to say goodbye, it's never going to be goodbye, as you will always be in my thoughts and my broken heart. Rest in peace, my dear Estelle.
Thank you, Arlene, Laura, and Jeffrey, for your touching thoughts. It is customary at the Jewish funeral ritual for a woman to recite excerpts from Eshes Chayil, the acrostic chapter in Proverbs that beautifully portrays the essence of a woman of valor in Jewish tradition. While each of these 22 verses of this remarkable piece resonates with profound meaning, the very first verse has always caught my attention and fascination. Eshes Chayil mi yimtza. Who has encountered a woman of valor? Who can lay claim to having discovered an individual possessing the extraordinary quality of valor derived from the Latin word valere, denoting strength, bravery, courage, and resilience in the face of adversity? In truth, the same question can be posed in regard to men as well. Ish chayil mi yimtza. Who has met a man of valor, one who exemplifies these illustrious qualities? The honest answer is that discovering an individual of such exceptional stature is undeniably challenging. And as one continues to read through this poignant passage, seeing all the areas of life wherein such a person is called upon to demonstrate valor, it becomes abundantly clear why it is so difficult to find someone of that nature. Valor in familiar relationships, valor in community, valor in spiritual aspirations, and many more. Indeed, incredibly challenging. We're all too aware that our inherent human nature often inclines us to take the path of least resistance when confronted with challenges. When the going gets tough, most of us choose to retreat. However, in this moment, this morning, it is crucial to emphasize the word most. Most individuals opt for the easier route. Most people simply follow their predetermined course along life's proverbial yellow brick road. Most, but not everyone. I only had the opportunity to meet Estelle on a few occasions, but both through those cherished encounters and from conversations with Estelle's remarkable children, Arlene, Laura, and Jeffrey, it is abundantly clear that Estelle was indeed an Eshes Chayil, a true woman of valor. Similar to the Eshes Chayil described in Proverbs, Estelle cherished and esteemed her family and friends with utmost devotion. She consistently went above and beyond to support and demonstrate her love for her family and friends. Beyond her immediate family, her friends, Bobby, Bert, Loretta, Myra, Sigrid, and Rhonda are just some of the individuals whom were lucky enough to have been part of Estelle's extended family. Furthermore, Estelle, like the Eshes Chayil in Proverbs, selflessly gave of herself not only to her kin, but also to her community and all those in need. When discussing Estelle's passing with members of the Lincolnwood Jewish congregation for the last few days, they all fondly recounted and recalled her consistent and active involvement in volunteer work within the walls of the synagogue. And like the Eshes Chayil, whose actions initiated the graceful songs of those around her, Estelle too dedicated herself to bringing music to the world through her passionate involvement with the light opera works here in Chicago and more. Yet perhaps most significantly, Estelle genuinely embodied the essence of a woman of valor. She possessed remarkable bravery, courage, and resilience, refusing to let the adversities of life hold her down in her connection with God and Judaism. Despite growing up at a time and place that denied her the opportunity for a bat mitzvah, Estelle's Jewish aspirations and commitment remained unwavering. For decades, every Friday night, regardless of the circumstances or her busy schedule as a mother of three, she would light Shabbos candles. And then at the age of 60, Estelle's lifelong Jewish commitment bore fruit as she celebrated her own bat mitzvah, an occasion that brought her immense pride and joy. However, Estelle's unwavering dedication to Judaism was not merely superficial. It became an intrinsic part of her very being. Towards the end of her life, even as she battled Alzheimer's, her unwavering desire was to continue lighting Shabbos candles. Although safety concerns prevented her from doing so, Estelle insisted on reciting and repeating the blessing for Shabbos candles over and over again. Her decades of observance and commitment to this tradition had become an integral part of her identity as an Eshes Chayil. When I had the chance a few months back to spend time with Estelle, although she was suffering from severe Alzheimer's, the one thing she kept saying over and over again was how badly she desired to return to Shul. That was Estelle, a woman whose commitment and love for Judaism overcame all barriers until it was a part of who she was. And so, despite the deep sorrow and mourning that engulfs us today, this morning, Estelle's love and teachings will endure through her children, grandchildren, friends, extended family, and all those fortunate to have known her. It is through these cherished values, the values that course through her veins for 84 years of life, her love, commitment to friends, family, and Judaism, among so much more, that carry on as her living legacy. Tehei nishmasa tzrura b'tzrur hachayim. May her soul be bound in the bond of eternal life. We continue with passages from Eshes Chayil that can be found on the page 3 in the pamphlet. On the left-hand side, it is found transliterated. On the right-hand side in English. We'll recite just a few. You may remain seated. Eshes Chayil mimtza v'rachok mipnim michra batach b'alev bala v'shalal lo yechsar. A woman of valor, who can find? Far beyond pearls is her value. Her husband's heart trusts in her, and he shall lack no fortune. We continue towards the bottom. Kamu v'neha v'yeshua bala v'yechalala rabos banos asuchayo v'atalis al kulana sheker achein v'hevel hayofi isha yiras Adonai iti salal tenula ipriya deha v'haleluha bashari maseha. Her children rise and celebrate her, and her husband he praises her. Many daughters have attained valor, but you have surpassed them all. False is grace and vain is beauty. A God-fearing woman, she should be praised. Give her the fruits of her hands, and she will be praised at the gates by her own very deeds. In just a moment, we will continue with the burial. In Jewish tradition, one of the most sacred mitzvos, commandments, is to participate in the burial of a fellow Jew. However, although it is a great mitzvah, it is one we do with reluctance. It's a somber and mournful activity as well. And therefore, there are two traditions that come into play at a Jewish burial. The first, when we participate, when we begin putting some earth down, we use the backhand of the shovel. The initial burial is done with the backhand of the shovel to show a reluctance, a hesitancy in the process. And after the backhand, one can then turn the shovel straight. The second is we do not hand the shovel to the next individual. We place it back into the dirt and allow them to take it. So two traditions that come into play in this sacred moment. I ask the family to please join me. A reminder for everyone to please keep drinking water.
Oh my God.
Yeah, could I get one?
Does everyone have water?
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Got some gin in it.
Huh?
Some gin.
Yeah.
That's what I need.
Can anyone else take a water? A water for anybody? Water? Water? That's water? Yeah, please. Please drink. Plenty of water for everyone. Family and friends are invited to come forth to participate in burial.
Ladies and gentlemen, there are 2 shovels here. Walk around. Be careful on the wood.
Swimming, I believe.
My brother,
Vicky, you want to give it a shot? You want to give it a shot? Why don't we do two hands? I am. But I'm a proctologist, so I'm not sure.
Put this down. Yeah, I'm learning class.
Ladies and gentlemen, just as a reminder, Shiva will be observed today and tomorrow at the Lincolnwood Jewish Congregation, AG Beth Israel. The time this evening is from 4 to 8 p.m. with services today at 8:15, and tomorrow the hours are 12 to 4. The information is also in your programs. Thank you.
Please rise for the Kalmalin. El Malay Rachamim, Shochen Bamiromim. Hamsei Menucha Nechana Al Kanfei HaShechina. Hima'alos Kedoshim Utarim. Kizarik Yam Asirim. As Nishmas. Esther Bas Avram Shalcha L'Olama. Ba'avor Shanan Vutzirab. Had Haskaras Nishmasa. Meganet Menuchasa. La'achen Balarachimim. Yastir Abesesha Kenafa L'Olamim. Bitzror. Bitzror Chemes Nishmasa. Adonai Hu Nachalasa. V'sanuach al mishkaba v'shalom v'nomar amen. Compassionate God, eternal Spirit of the universe, grant perfect rest in your sheltering presence to Estelle Kriv, who has entered eternity. O God of mercy, let her find refuge in eternal presence. Let her soul be bound in the bond of everlasting life. God is her inheritance. May she rest in peace. And let us say, Amen. We continue with the Mourner's Kaddish, which can be found on the back page. This Kaddish was recited by the immediate family members alone. To conclude our service, we ask all those other than the immediate family members to please form 2 rows on the road over here in front, and the ones will pass through for the shura. So everyone can please take a step forward and follow.
The big corridor on the road.
you interpret so I can say good interpretation? I think so. Go ahead.
I live in here though.
It's North Crawford.